are annoying. Get rid- okay.
Good morning. Over the past year, we've talked a lot about hospitalizations and the death rate associated with COVID-19. At times, the virus had filled hospital units to capacity and stretched the endurance of doctors and nurses beyond any reasonable expectation. While most patients recover, the virus has killed some of our grandparents, some of our parents, some of our siblings and spouses and children. But the outcomes are not limited to quick recovery or death. We've not talked about the 10 to 30% of people who survive but are not able to get back to their normal lives within a few weeks. A significant portion of those people have symptoms for months, and some have now had them for over a year. Because COVID-19 can affect nearly every organ system in the body, these so-called COVID long haulers experience a broad array of symptoms, including loss of taste and smell, memory loss, chest pain, extreme fatigue, muscle and nerve pain, stomach problems, erectile dysfunction, even hair loss. The data tells us that some who suffer from long-term symptoms like this are often younger, in their 20s and 30s. Some are teenagers, and they're virtually otherwise healthy, with no pre-existing conditions that would make them more susceptible. There appears to be no rhyme or reason for why they still have symptoms months later, while others have recovered. We know that over 100,000 people in St. Louis County have contracted COVID, and that means between 10,000 and 30,000 members of our community are still experiencing symptoms of some kind months after their diagnosis. Like the Ironman triathlete who, after contracting COVID over a year ago, can't even run 50 yards or race his son down the street. Or the vibrant young woman in her 30s with intermittent nerve pain. Or the kindergarten teacher in her 30s who gets breathless when she walks up the stairs. She has such severe brain fog that she sometimes forgets if she fed the dog. While she jokes that her dog likes getting the occasional extra meal, the fuzzy memories are scary. These are people I know are people who've shared their stories with me. And I'm not telling you this to scare you, I'm telling it to inform you. Young, healthy people are making personal choices based on an unclear picture of the risk associated with contracting COVID. They're basing decisions on the belief that they won't end up in the hospital or the risk of dying of COVID-19 is slim. It's true that dying is unlikely for most, but the risk of battling life-altering symptoms months, even years later, is unacceptably high. And unfortunately, COVID cases among young people are up in St. Louis County. Cases are highest for people in their 20s and 30s, but cases are rising for children and teenagers as well. Long-haul cases are not limited to an age group, and our children are not only at risk for contracting the virus, but having long-term symptoms as well. Vaccination remains the single most effective tool against the virus. Vaccinations are safe, readily available, and free throughout the country. If you have not yet been vaccinated, and you're the most at risk for contracting the virus and for having to deal with immediate and long-term effects. So please get vaccinated now. For tens and thousands of St. Louis County residents dealing with long-term COVID, please know that I'm very aware of your situation and that our health department is working with area hospitals to fully characterize the problems and identify resources to support you. And finally, let me point out that in a few short weeks, large numbers of unvaccinated people will be gathering in indoor spaces. And I'm talking about kids under the age of 12 for in-person class. Many of our school districts are requiring masks, and our Department of Public Health is urging students in school and school personnel to wear masks to reduce the chances of spreading COVID. Without our countywide mask mandate, because it's still tied up in court, it's up to school leaders, parents, and those who are caretakers for the kids after school to advocate for what is safest for them and our young ones. A unified response would be most effective and certainly less confusing, but some of our elected leaders do not see it as a priority, and that's a real shame. Please follow the advice of the CDC, wear a mask, protect yourself, and protect those who can't get vaccinated. By taking these steps, we can keep schools open and students in the classroom. We can defeat the Delta variant and return to a normal life. We have the tools. We just need the tenacity. So get vaccinated, and if you haven't done so, and also wear a mask in crowded places. To find out where you can get a vaccine, please go to revivestl.com, and I'd be glad to answer any questions. Okay. Questions? All right. Thank you.